So this brings up a larger issue about the ethics in game journalism and where we're at. I don't think there are any. We're in such a sort of strange, still early phase, going back to the early internet where you had a few websites that did these reviews, and a lot of it is paid for play in terms of give us a good review or else you're not going to get review copies and things like that. And a lot of that's going on. You always hear these rumors about like one website will give a game a glowing review that all other websites pan, and people wondering why that one website give a good review.
They've got their ads plastered all over the back of it.
Exactly. So
there's also the thing that I do think when it comes to reviews that it's perhaps less crooked than some want to say. A lot of people seriously think it's all buying. I know people in the industry, and I don't think that it's really that way. I think for some of it, though, it is. You do have to dance, because game journalism is not journalism. It is just another PR mouthpiece. There's no investigation, I mean, now the people who go out there and interview legacy creators and people who have done stuff, and they put out retrospectives on games and get the inside information, that's all well and good. But I'm sorry, your basic Kotaku scroll with, here's screenshots of X game, here's a preview of this game. All you're doing, even if you're giving your honest opinion of what you've seen, it's what they're feeding you. It's what the company's giving you. So it's just another spin on what they're already spitting out. And then, like you said with the reviews, the thing that always bothers me, though, that makes me feel like I don't necessarily think it's... I don't necessarily think it's bought, but I think it's walking on eggshells. You get these games that come out, right? And with the way the rating system is now, an 8 is almost a kiss of death. But it looks like a good review, and the reviewer's done their job, pat on the back from the old boys at, the big, publishing house, they go on their way. But all these games that come out and they get like 8s and 8.5s, and then 4 months later, everyone sits there, including the people who wrote the reviews, and just slags the game off for how awful it was. And it's like, I mean, that's happened a lot of times. Like, people look back, like when Grand Theft Auto 4 is a great example, came out, got glowing reviews, Grand Theft Auto 4. 6 months later, everyone was talking about what a letdown Grand Theft Auto 4 was. And it's because after a certain amount of time, they just... that need to kind of... I guess what I'm saying, the 8.0 is a wink and a nudge. It's a...
So you're saying there's built-in parts of the system to let people know that we're not totally slagging the game because we have the agreements with these companies. But an 8.0 is like having herpes.
Sort of, and that's fucked up, and everyone knows that. When you look at game reviews, everyone knows that anything from a 6 below is crap, 7 is passable, 8 is good, 9 is better than good, and 10 is perfect. Like, the rest of the scale isn't used, so... But it works to their favor. They can give a game a good review, and it looks nice in the aggregate scoring, but it really means... maybe not so good.
I always see articles from guys like Jeff Keighley at Game Trailers, and they do cool things. They try to do the video game awards, things like that. But
isn't Jeff Keighley the guy isn't he the Doritos and Mountain Dew guy?
Probably, exactly.
That's a big scandal. That was a big scandal. He was the one where he was sitting there talking about he just had stacks of Mountain Dew and Doritos.
The whole point is that I said in the past, guys like this, they are not journalists. They are barkers. They are carnival barkers, basically. They're just going to get whatever popular games put in front of them and saying, guys, check this out. I'm really excited. And if you follow their Twitter feeds, that's all it ever is. And it's never talking about controversies like this or talking about shortcomings, or shady stuff that's happened with game companies. It's always like, wow, this game's coming out. Are you excited? I'm excited. And if that's what the leading game journalists are, then there is no game journalism. Like, where is it? Is it underground? Is it companies that don't exist yet? Does there have to be something created like Consumer Reports for video games? Is that where the answer is? Or something that's totally independent with no advertisements at all, that's funded by the people, that this is your source for quote-unquote, I guess, objective game reviews? Because right now, that doesn't exist.
It's always existed in corners, insert credit.
But it's not seen, though.
Well, some of the sites were, but some come and go because the ones that are... Here's the problem. The ones that are being objective, the ones that are truly talking about it, right? Without any filter, are the ones that don't get the paid advertisements. Without the paid advertisements, those sites can't exist or can't keep going. Insert Credit was well known and well liked and would cover off the beaten path stuff and was honest about stuff, but there wasn't a lot of money back in their heyday. Now the site still exists in some regards, but it's not what it was in terms of journalism. I never personally cared for it, but Ben Kuchera of the Penny Arcade, the Penny Arcade Report, he was pretty cut and dry and cut through the bullshit, but Penny Arcade had to let him go. Well, fuck Penny Arcade, but because they had, there was no money for it. The more you speak openly about this, the less advertisement revenue you have, and the less you can support yourself off of real opinion pieces and actual journalism.
So then what's the answer? Like I said, do we need a publicly funded outlet?
That website Polygon was announced. Everyone thought that that's what Polygon was going to be, and very, very quickly they shat all that away. Running contests for, games and shit like that, so which suddenly makes you look like, man, you're, maybe you don't have everyone's best interests.
So at first it was going to be maybe that shining beacon of objective gaming journalism.
Yeah, I seem to remember that's how it was pitched, with a very, very preposterous and pretentious video, kind of giving everyone's background and lots of soft focus and shit like that.
There's lots of soft focus,
if I remember correctly, and it just that didn't work out.
So it's tough with the advertising revenue being so web-based, being so largely based on games, that you're saying it's kind of depressing then.
It is. Here's the truth. Kotaku's pretty much crap. Destructoid, crap. Polygon, crap. But you can occasionally find a piece that you can tell on any of these websites. I'm not trying to say everyone who works for these places is crap. I'm just saying these websites generally are no good for me. But if you scan them well enough and you get used to reading certain people, you can find people on these websites that are going to jive more with your line of thought, and you can get a better indication of whether or not a game is truly going to be for you, if a development is actually a big deal or very small. But like I said, it's unfortunately can't go to one place. You have to seek out the people who kind of share your, what sort of freaking looking for, your ethics, I guess, your viewpoints, and then take it from there.